Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, happy Monday. We are starting out a new week, and Bitcoin is looking pretty darn good. Bitcoin surges. Even though today, the US market is not looking so hot. And overall this week may be rocky. But you know what? It does seem like investors are seeking safe havens like gold and Bitcoin. So let's talk about what to expect today, what to expect this week, and why Bitcoin is surging. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are certainly looking good this morning. In fact, after my Sunday walk video, actually, in my Sunday walk video, I said, if we could see Bitcoin go from like the 84, 85,000, we go up a little bit to 87 by the end of this week, we would be in really good shape, right? As the market develops this week, we see Bitcoin get a little bit stronger and stronger and stronger. That's what we want to see. And soon afterwards, boom, we went up 2,000 points to 87,000, and that is where we are still right now. Fantastic place. Really good. And that is despite the US market opening up in the red. NASDAQ really in the green, minus 1.5%. Okay, but hey, a lot of stuff in the green today, including MicroStrategy. Saylor again has another big announcement for all Bitcoiners. Okay, now why did Bitcoin go up? Well, and it's still coming up. There are several reasons. Okay, there's not one exact reason, but you know, obviously there's still a lot of macro stuff at play. But one of the big reasons could be due to this. The DXY, the strength of the dollar, is falling. It's falling like a rock. And Bitcoin and the DXY tends to have an inverse relationship. Whatever the dollar falls, Bitcoin tends to rise. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Because usually the dollar falls whatever markets are doing well. That means investors are not investing in bonds. They're not holding cash. They're investing with it. That's usually what happens. Okay. But right now we're in a weird situation where that's not what's happening. It's not like markets are booming right now. It's not like we're in like, you know, full-blown bull market. Why is the dollar falling? It's due to everything that's going on, scariness over tariffs and trade wars and countries dumping US treasuries. That's why the dollar's falling. So it's a different reason why the dollar's falling. But this is also a reason why investors are not holding on dollars right now. They want to put it somewhere else because they don't want to see the value of their dollar go down. Right? So this is like a different scenario. So that's the reason why you're actually seeing like gold actually doing very well. And it could be why Bitcoin was just boosted by $2,000 overnight when Asia opened up. So some Asian country, some large whale, someone decided to load up on Bitcoin. And in case you're wondering, the DXY has fallen to a 2022 level. 2022. That's pretty low. Back then, we were still raising rates, right? We were still dealing with high inflation. So it's a weird situation we're in right now. It's really weird. But that's one of the things that happened. Maybe that explains it, maybe it doesn't. But there's a lot of things going on right now, okay? The good thing is Bitcoin jumped up. This is a really good place to be. But again, there's many other things that's happening. Here's something else. China is not backing down. China vows to retaliate against any countries that follow the U.S. calls to isolate Beijing. So, you know, like Trump tends to like, you know, obviously there's that 245% tariff. He's been saying that they've been working to find a deal, right? And if that deal comes sooner, I mentioned this yesterday, if that deal somehow comes sooner than later, like let's say this week, the markets will explode. So that's one of the big catalysts that could be happening. Although I don't think it's going to happen this week. But Trump tends to like utilize this weapon where he has said this against like Russia and others where, oh, if you're doing business with Russia, then we're going to tariff you or something. I don't know if he said that about China, but China is saying if he did and others are following it, then they will retaliate against those countries, right? So it does seem like China's not backing down. They don't want to be bullied in this case, right? So let's hope. This is not going to lead to anywhere good. Let's just hope that two sides come to agreement. Because right now, I think those of us in the U.S., we still don't see the effects, right? We still have supplies of things at stores. I was just talking about this last night. But if this continues on, in a couple of months, everything at all stores will get super, super expensive. Like 245% more expensive. Right now, shelves are still stocked. Inventory is still plentiful. So we're not seeing the effects of that. But, you know, things have halted since last week. You know, those cargo ships, they're at docks. They're not being unloaded, right? So once the supply runs out at the stores, everything's going to start skyrocketing. And I don't think any of us wants that to happen. So hopefully this gets worked out. Otherwise, there will be a huge shock. One day you walk into a store and your favorite good is 300% more expensive. It's going to happen. We just don't see it yet, but it's going to happen. And no one wants that. No one wants that. Yeah. So that's also happening. All right, what else is happening in the macro world? Well, Trump is still calling for Powell to cut the Fed fund rate quickly, immediately, or he's going to fire him. You know, Powell, I didn't know. His term is almost over. Only one more year left, around May of next year. So will he be pressured to cut the rate faster than expected? Probably not. I mean, we're talking about just 1 month difference between May and June timeframe. He's going to have to cut in June. But whether he's going to cut in May, I don't know, but like there's a lot of pressure on him. Trump really wants him to cut. In fact, everyone wants him to cut. But he's probably not going to because of all the tariff uncertainty right now. But yeah, there's just a lot of pressure on him to cut. And the 10-year Treasury is still going up, which is not a good thing. You could see it went up more. This correlates with why the DXY is going down because there's a lot of countries that are still dumping the U.S. bonds. That's why the dollar is getting more worthless, and that's why safe havens like gold and Bitcoin is actually coming up. So it's really positive that Bitcoin is seen as a safe haven. Maybe not 100%, not for everyone, but there are definitely a lot of long-term holders that believe that Bitcoin is and is a better safe haven than even gold. Because obviously it moves much faster than gold in terms of the price. And when the bull market kicks in, Bitcoin definitely moves faster. And if you look at the performance over the last 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, 2 years, it always outperforms, right? And even now, can't say it's done that bad. I mean, gold obviously hasn't come down recently, but Bitcoin has been showing a lot of strength and will probably come back up to its 100,000, 109,000 in like no time. I think there's just so much like, again, I've said this before, there's so much like money on the sidelines. There's so much like build up right now. It's like a coiled spring waiting to be released. When we get that catalyst, we will bounce back so quickly. I don't think people are going to be ready for it. Well, long-term holders, we will be ready for it. But everyone else will be like, whoa, what happened? How is Bitcoin back above 100,000? It's going to be like one of those scenarios. We will bounce back so quickly, everyone else will be caught like on the sidelines, like, how did this happen? I truly feel we're in one of those situations. We just need that catalyst, that quantitative easing, that Fed cut, the trade situation between China and US worked out, something like that, something huge, and we will bounce. But even if we don't, slow trending upwards, that'll do it. Yeah. And of course, Saylor, he's going to do his part. Acquired another 6,556 Bitcoin. This guy has like endless money. Like, he seems like he has Google money or Microsoft money or Apple money. Like every single like month, not even like every 2 weeks, he's pulling out like $500 million. I know where he's getting it from, but then I don't know where he's getting it from. Like, is he really raising that much money all the time? But he has just purchased another $500 million. He is now holding 538,000 Bitcoin. He holds $36.47 billion of Bitcoin. Average price is $67,766. It's a crazy amount, and he will never stop, and he will keep on going. And it's not just him. I mean, he's doing his part. He's acquiring just enormous amount, right? But man, just look at this too. It's not just him. Like, look at the institutions, 13,000 institutions, 814,000 retail accounts that hold MicroStrategy. So they also are part of this. They believe in the cause. They are Bitcoiners in a sense, okay? And none of this would have happened without Saylor. And none of this existed in previous cycles. I mean, obviously Saylor came in 2020, but still, it wasn't like this even in the previous cycle. No one knew if Michael Saylor was doing the right thing, if MicroStrategy was going to survive. You know, after 2021, 2022 hit, everyone thought MicroStrategy was going to go bankrupt, that he was a fool and everything. He proved them all wrong when we came back in 2024, and that's when MicroStrategy really blew up, and that's how all these people realized that, hey, he has something, right? He started a movement, and everyone started coming back in. So it's not just him. There are a lot of people that are starting to believe, right? And he has made other companies like Metaplanet, aka like MicroStrategy of Japan, who just purchased another 330 Bitcoin, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's $28 million worth. They have 4,855. Again, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's over $400 million worth of Bitcoin. Even though that's less than what Saylor just purchased now. But again, I think we become accustomed to like these large numbers. But for a gaming company out of Japan to now have $400 million worth of Bitcoin in their reserve, that's no small feat. They only started acquiring a year ago, and they haven't been acquiring when Bitcoin was like sub 10,000. They started acquiring, I don't know, like when Bitcoin was 50, 60,000, much harder. It's kind of crazy. So again, there's a movement. This is why Bitcoin is strong this cycle and will become stronger as we move forward, and it will never stop. More and more people are starting to realize that this is the greatest asset to hold. That's why the price is higher every single cycle. It's just really that simple. Whales continue to buy, the ones that understand. $4.7 billion worth of Bitcoin in a month, including a lot yesterday, to move Bitcoin up $2,000 like this, okay? Like this. That takes a lot. That takes a lot of money to do. I mean, you could go on Binance, you could go on Coinbase and throw $10 million at Bitcoin, and it doesn't move the needle at all. I can't even fathom how much money you need to put in on the spot market to make it go up 2,000 and stay there at 2,000. Because even if you make one exchange deviate from the order books of other exchanges, eventually they balance out. So to permanently drive the market up by $2,000, like how much was actually put? Like $1 billion in the spot market within an hour? I can't even fathom how much was put. I really don't know. But it was a lot last night. It was a lot. Someone realized, hey, I need to put my money somewhere else. I can't hold USD. I got to hold something better like Bitcoin. That's exactly what happened. Exchanges, supply of Bitcoin continues to plummet. You could see it's still going down. It's not heading back up. That will be the trend. It's just like real estate, like hot real estate. It's not going to become more plentiful. It's only going to get more scarce, right? Like cities, big cities around the world. Does real estate in Tokyo or New York or, I don't know, Beijing or anywhere, London, does real estate get cheaper in those cities? No, because there's only so much land and they only get more expensive, right? Just like Bitcoin, there's only so much out there and there's more people coming in. It's only going to get more expensive. It's becoming more scarce over time. And you're not going to see this go up like before anymore. It just keeps on dropping more and more so every single year. And here's quite interesting. I don't know if I quite believe this because I think we were a little bit higher. But at the beginning of March, when all the tariffs were officially announced, right? The blanket 10% tariff, tariff against China, against the EU, against Canada, Mexico, and all that stuff. Bitcoin obviously tanked. But now that we're back to 87, we have completely come back to a V-shaped recovery. However, you could argue that obviously we started coming down from January, so we're not quite there yet. But hey, once we get back to 100K, it's like this never happened, right? I've been saying we have seen periods like this many, many, many times in the past. It's not like this is new. There's always scary things that happen every single cycle. And then we get past it. Bitcoin just gets through it and no one remembers. You zoom out and you see all the dips that's happened along the way and no one remembers why they happened. But they did. There's always a reason. There's always a reason. And here's the last thing I'll say. Now that we have broken out, what's the next target? Well, the next target is 89,000. So if all things continue the way they're going, if this week, we also have some earnings this week. And we have I mentioned yesterday, we have a big options and futures expiration at Friday. But if things continue the way they're going, and we still continue to build this momentum, next stop is 90,000. That's only 10% away from $100,000, guys. We're not that far away. So all this bearishness kind of just disappears once that happens again, right? So, looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. All right. Oh, look at this. And look at this. Like, we're going deeper in the red today, and Bitcoin is not affected. Trump ramps up attacks on Powell. Demands loser Fed chair lower rates. Did he really just call him a loser? Calling him a major loser. Well, only Trump would do that. He probably posted on Truth Social. I don't think Powell's gonna cave in. Or maybe Powell's like, I got a year left. I don't care anymore. You know, I'm not going to get reelected anyway, so I'll just do what he wants. I don't know. Let's do some Q&A. Man, Tesla is getting crushed today. Tesla is going to be reporting tomorrow. And I kind of mentioned this. I don't think any company is going to be reporting well, including Tesla. Even if they report fantastic numbers in the last quarter, their future guidance is not going to be good. Right? So tomorrow, Tesla and Google reports. Google's not going to be affected that much, although they're probably still not going to give good guidance because they're a software company. Although, you know, phone sales may decrease, so that may affect Google licensing. But they won't be hit nearly as hard as Apple, who actually produces phones. But Tesla, they will definitely get hit. They will get hit. A lot of Tesla components of their cars are made out of China. So that may be why they're getting hit hard today. Someone earlier asked, is ETH dead? ETH is not dead, just very, very weak. Very weak. Zeus is asked, when can we expect the alts to regain their January, February high? Not until Bitcoin probably hits 109,000 again. Bitcoin dominance is sky high. All the confidence is in Bitcoin right now. So it's going to take a while before the confidence goes back into the alts. I think it's going to take Bitcoin getting above 100,000 again before all the confidence slowly comes back to the alts. Alex, hello, or ciao, from Italy, hello. Gaming coins should pump when GTA 6 comes out. Well, first of all, when is GTA 6 coming out? And second of all, I don't believe that's true. Unless GTA 6 have built-in crypto. There's some rumors that it does, but that's no guarantee that's going to pump all the other crypto projects, crypto gaming projects. Thoughts on FET and NIR for the run? FET didn't do well, even during the good times. All those mergers just did something to them, caused a lot of confusion. People don't know what's going on. So I don't know about FET, but NIR should pick up. NIR, they're L1, so I think I like NIR better. FET just caused too much confusion for themselves. They merged with like 2 other companies, and then they were talking about merging with 2 other companies, and then after that, I don't know, they just kind of slowed down. Maybe from a development standpoint, they didn't. So I can't talk about that. Maybe from a development standpoint, they're awesome. But it seems like they're in a lot of things. So I don't know. Because even prior, like December, January, they weren't doing well. So I don't know. There's always a chance they can. In a bull market, there's always a chance for anything to do well, but this bull run has been harder on alts for sure. Why did Phantom change their name? Because they upgrade their technology. They went and upgraded their chain, and they decided it was time. To Sonic. Hugo, where do you see BTC dominance in the next 5 years? I mean, I think BTC dominance is going to come down. One of these projects, probably more than one, will start gaining. I think after ETFs, a lot of these will gain more momentum. And then eventually we're going to get a hot DApp or hot game that actually gets real, like, world users to actually consistently use them, millions upon millions of users, and then that will cause a lot of these platforms to become really big, and their market cap will actually sustain, and that will pull BTC dominance down. But that doesn't mean Bitcoin will go down. That doesn't mean Bitcoin will slow down. It just means that other alts will get bigger in market cap. That's it. AVAX seems like it's the best candidate for the new GTA. AVAX, Sui, you know, and there's other gaming focused chains like Immutable, Ronin. You know, there are others, but I do like AVAX and Sui a lot because they're not just focused on games, but they're heavy into games and they're ready, you know, big caps. But yeah, there's a lot of really heavily focused gaming chains out there. What do you think about liquidity pools? That's like asking me, what do you think about hot dogs? Like, what do you want to know? Pool without water could be dangerous. That's funny. That's a good dad joke right there. Um, uh, Philip says Litecoin is nearing the end of a long 7.5 year accumulation phase. I'm glad you have such strong hands holding 7.5 years. If it pops like you think it will, then congrats. Ooh, Amazon reports this week too. Man, I bet Amazon's gonna get crushed. Um, I bet they're getting crushed right now too. Amazon's gonna get oh man, Tesla's getting really crushed right now. Yeah, Amazon's forecast is gonna be horrible. I can't imagine. Almost everything on Amazon is from China. Netflix probably gonna do really well. Tesla, Amazon, their forecast is probably going to be horrible. Next week, you got Microsoft Meta, which will be fine. Apple, go get crushed. Nvidia, that's like a month out. We got also some Fed speakers this week, and economic data too. There's a lot of like stuff. This week is huge. This is like a big week. Again, if Bitcoin can hold where it is, I mean, I'd be happy if Bitcoin just holds at 85, but considering that we're at 87, if we could hold at 87 and even build upon here, we're in really good shape. If we could hold here, man, that would be the best case scenario. This week is going to be rocky. The U.S. market is going to be completely volatile. Yeah, I think that anything digital service wise is going to be fine. Netflix will be fine. Netflix, I still remember when like Disney and Paramount and all these other streaming services came out, like people started selling off Netflix saying, well, they're going to have so much competition and this and that. Netflix just like continued to do what they did and did not care, and everyone else just became bankrupt or did really bad, and they're just still the dominant powerhouse. It's amazing that they just continue to do what they did. Even Amazon Prime can't compete with Netflix. But yeah, and like Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, Meta, you know, I think they're fine. They're software companies. But like Apple, Amazon, they will get affected. And Tesla will too. I mean, Nvidia will too. Unless Trump announces that like Apple, Nvidia, they get, or maybe even Tesla. I doubt it. He'll announce it today, but maybe Apple, and it's probably too late for Apple, but maybe announces that Apple and Nvidia gets exemptions with the tariffs because they committed to building factories in the U.S. Maybe that'll do it, but Nvidia is still going to get hurt because they already said there's still tariffs going into China. So Nvidia selling to China is still getting hit with tariffs. So that's hurting them. Apple still sells to China. So that still hurts them regardless. So the tariff's not just one way, it's both ways. So even if Trump gave tariff exemptions to Apple and Nvidia, that doesn't help them. And that also means that Teslas get hit. Teslas get sold in China too, but it's built there. So I guess maybe, I don't know if things get built there gets exempt from tariffs, even though it's an American company. I guess maybe. Apple and Teslas get built there, so maybe they're exempt from tariffs because there are factories there. Nvidia's not. Yeah. It's a really weird situation right now. A lot of alts, just so you guys know, it's really hard to kill alts. I always make this example with Doge. Doge died for like 8 years before it came back. I mean, it was really Elon that revived Doge, but Doge was a dead project for many, many, many years, and then it just came back. So there's always a chance for projects to come back. It's not really often that they do, but there's always a chance. So a lot of these projects that have been dormant for a while, during altcoin season, there's always a chance. But this time around, I would say it's not going to be everything. Not like the previous cycles. The big caps, obviously, like back in November, December, parts of January, we had a really good run for alts. We saw a lot of the mid caps and big caps do extremely well. The small caps didn't move, micro caps didn't move, the mid and big caps did well, right? I think that's a preview of what's to come. Even when we have altcoin season, I think it's going to be more of the same. And memes. People are putting their money into what they trust and know, and they'll gamble on memes, but a lot of the smaller ones that kind of like lost their ways and lost their followings, they're probably not going to do that well in the bull run. However, you don't know. Maybe a few of them do revive. That's just how it is. I mean, I gotta say, I'm just really impressed. I'm really impressed that we are holding this. Not only did we jump up by 2,000 points, we are holding at this level. You could see the volume spike right here. It looked like we were going to go down, and the volume actually picked up. This is on a day when it's bad in the US. So we have decoupled today. I think this is because the dollar, the DXY is falling. DXY is falling, and people are taking their money out of dollars and putting it in something else. And it's gold and Bitcoin right now. I mean, that's the only explanation. There's actually not the greatest volume, but some volume. The fact that we're not falling back to the 85s or 84s or 83s and we're staying up here, that's really good. Really good. We're ahead of the schedule. Frank, don't be a Debbie Downer. I did mention that we do have options expiration this Friday. The max paying price is $82,000. There's a phenomenon sometimes where we do hit it before we recover. So hopefully that's not the case. In previous times that has happened before. There's many times it didn't happen. So doesn't mean that it will, but there's a slight chance. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Overall, right now, today, looking pretty darn good for Bitcoin. Investors are seeking safe havens like Bitcoin, and we're having a fantastic day despite a sell-off in the US market. Right? Many great things happening in this space. Bitcoin is always strong. So stay strong, my friends. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll put out a good video for you guys tonight. And we'll go from there. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.